Welcome back, Truth Seeker. November 6th, 2018. Another day in paradise. Going to switch you over to my desktop here. Want to go through the news headlines and got to move quick because got to be places. We got GEmatria school tonight on the Patreon, running behind schedule today. I want to build up to this death from 1980, the first man to ever place a 911 call. Show you what's so interesting about this man's passing, what it has to do with September 11th itself. But here we are. It's voting day, November 6th, 2018. CNN's been running with this headline all day. Two Americas are on a collision course. And, goes back to my video. I just re-uploaded this today in spite of this headline. February 2016, I said why it made the most sense for Donald Trump to be the next president, how he was the divide and conquer candidate, and all the signs of what was to come. So here we are. If you haven't seen this video, check it out. It's got a little surprise in it. The most interesting thing I've ever captured in the thousands of videos I've made literally happened in this video right here. The only time the light bulbs ever came on by themselves. Like the world was trying to tell me something. But two Americas are on a collision course, as if we're divided. And boy, are we ever. Always have been. It just gets worse year after year with all the divisive rhetoric, the programming, the propaganda. We'll talk about this cigar-shaped interstellar object in the news today, on the day leaving 55 days left in the year. This is another top story today. We'll get to that cigar in just a moment. Makes me think of Bill Clinton for some reason. But anyway, one of the top stories today, 13-year-old girl abducted outside her home. And this is an Amber Alert story, national news. Makes me think of just weeks ago, it was the story of the 13-year-old Amber Alert for Jamie Kloss, who reportedly murdered her parents and then disappeared into the thin air. The story seems to be down the memory hole. In case you're new here, what I've been proving since 2013 and what I knew long before that, but I finally found the proof in 2013, is that everything that is presented in our news, as random and chaotic as it is propaganda, and it is contrived, and it is meant to keep us continually distracted and not knowing what to think or what to expect. It's like a constant back and forth. And I noticed this first in the days after September 11th, when we had the terror alert scales. It would go like 3-4 days straight of being on an orange alert, a red alert. And then all of a sudden they'd stop talking about the color scale and they'd be talking about some missing blonde girl. And I'd be like, okay, the last 4 days we were all supposed to be like hiding out in our bunkers that we don't have. And now all that we're talking about is a missing blonde girl? I mean, what? So anyway, 13-year-old girl, oh shoot. My lady just said, can you come pick me up? She was supposed to need a ride at about 4:15. I thought I had 15 minutes. Hold on. See if she can wait 15 minutes. Do this real quick. So anyway, real quick, 13-year-old girl. Remember, Amber Alert equals 41, which is the 13th prime. We were talking about this with Jamie Kloss, this same type of thing. She had the JC initials, Jamie Kloss, JC 13. 13-year-old girl murdered her family. But anyway, today's story is this. She was abducted in the town of Lumberton, North Carolina, out of the Rosewood Mobile Home Park. And just right away, things that jump out: Lumberton 39, Rosewood 39, Amber 39, Federal 39. Parents are who are most impacted by this kind of news. It just makes them, they hear it in the news and it makes them think of their own child's safety. And it's because of things like Amber Alerts and the ever-increasing fear in the media that now you drive by city parks where 2 decades ago children would be playing there after school. Now they're all vanking. Children don't play outside anymore. That's why children are getting fatter, less healthy. They got the whole world living in front of screens. And think about it. What you do as a child is, the basis of what the rest of your life's going to be. If you grow up in the front of a screen, if that's just your normal comfort zone, that's what's going to become of your life. This is the path children are getting put on because of all the false pushed fear that's meant to, play at the mothers of the world who don't want to see their child be the next headline, not realizing that nearly all of these headlines are made up news. If you missed my work on Jamie Kloss, go back and check it out. Also in the news today, Queen's Live Aid performance is still pure magic 33 years later. Of course, the word magic sums to 33. And that performance that they're talking about was on July 13th, 13/7, like 137, the 33rd prime. Just recently, somebody sent this really cool decode. This was August 2018. This guy sent this comment. He said, Zach, have you ever broke down Freddie Mercury's death and tribute concert? The Freddie Mercury tribute concert AIDS awareness at Wembley was at Wembley. And then he points out that Freddie Mercury equals 80. Wembley Stadium equals 80. He died 80 days after his birthday. Of course, the word tragedy equals 80. He also shows how Freddie has the same gematria as AIDS awareness. You know, I'm sure there's a whole lot more to this riddle. And again, the proof that all of this stuff is done numerologically, you know, persists day after day, like today's headline, about 33 years later, you know, magic, July 13th. And if I'm not mistaken, I keep seeing some advertisement, maybe a Queen movie's coming out right now or something like that. Also, just real quick, I made a video on this yesterday. The thing I skipped in this video, if you saw it, is I didn't talk about what was emphasized in the headline, which is usually a staple of my videos. I was talking about how yesterday this man was a sacrifice for Super Bowl 53, which will conclude the 99th season of the NFL. Look at what's emphasized in the headlines. He had the biggest heart, which sums to 99 forwards and backwards in our base ciphers. He was number 67, our big blood sacrifice number, and he was 38 years old, our big death number. So, plus he died on a date with 53 numerology, right? And his name was Vince. Shape of the football is the best Pisces 53. The year of Super Bowl 53. He had the right name to be the sacrifice this year. Just real quick, Sam Ballard, another viral news story, supposedly ate a slug and died. You know, why is this a national news story? I just noticed right away, you know, his initials, Sam Ballard, 187, like the homicide code. His name's also 83, like murder. I don't know if the story is just completely made up or if this kid was murdered as well and then it gets blamed on some bizarre story. I just don't know, but why is this a top news story? People die every day in this world. I used to teach in, you know, the poorest neighborhood in Seattle, and, you know, the area of Seattle I taught in, again, it was the poorest area. It was where the majority of the black people lived. It's where every day there were crimes and shootings, and it never made the papers, you know. Dead children, young people dying in that community often. Never made the headlines, not even the Seattle paper. You know, so, you know, some white kid dies and it's a national news story because he ate a slug. So this is why I question all news media. I say it doesn't make sense. Why do I need to know about this? Kid just got murdered down the street. It's not even the news here. So all news, programming something, some hidden message. And we're in speed mode here. Sorry, I got to pick up my lady. I thought we had more time, but another thing I just want to talk about real quick. Anguished by spiral of hate. And this story links the Charleston church shooting and the synagogue shooting. Before this even happened, I showed you how the two stories were linked in dates and numerology. And look, the same number persists that they emphasize here. Spiral of hate, the same number we were talking about before. 58, like Pittsburgh, like Freemasonry, like secret society, like biblical, like tetragrammaton, like a million other things that are so significant to this code. And remember, Trump, the winner of the 58th U.S. presidential election, showed up in Pittsburgh on the date with 58 numerology and was rejected by the Jewish community, even though he's the same guy who has his face on the side of a shekel that's raising funds to build the third temple. That doesn't make any sense. Also, a lot of people are asking why this guy took down our video. He texted me and said he didn't want to be associated with a conspiracy kook, and there was no benefit to keeping the video up that I did with him on his channel, so he deleted it. And supposedly this is the guy fighting Zionism. You know, the most important video ever on his channel, he decided to delete. So if you think this guy's really fighting Zionism, I don't know what to tell you. Also, this gave me a good laugh. I woke up this morning. This is the first headline I saw. Baseball's $300 million megastar belongs in Hollywood. Still makes me laugh. All of pro sports is Hollywood. It's all a script. These guys are athletic actors. Headline made to mock. And for the main event right here, somebody pointed out this to me this morning. Commenter who I actually don't appreciate very much. I let him know this was the best comment he ever left. But, you know, for the guy out there who knows what I'm talking about, I don't know why you're such a racist asshole. I don't know why you need to write so much divisive stuff, putting down everybody but the white race. But I do thank you for this comment right here. And there must be some reason that you stick with my work, but I don't know what's with all the racist posts that you've done over the years. But really, sincerely, thank you for telling me this. This same man who I thought must be a dedicated troll this morning made me think, oh God, maybe he's not a troll. Maybe he's just like a really racist person that hangs around here and is actually trying to contribute. But anyway, he pointed out that today, November 6th, is the day that Rankin Fite died, former politician from Alabama. He died on this day in history, and he was the man who made the first ever 911 call, February 16th, the 47th day of the year. And what's so interesting about him dying November 6th, 1980, is that was a date with 116 numerology, which is a lot like 11/6. And what happens if you flip 11/6 upside down? It equals 911. 911. He made the first ever 911 emergency dialing code. Here's what else jumped out. He was 64 years old when he died. His name equals 64, like Synagogue of Satan, like Israel, like Zion, like Thelema, which worships the number 93, which had a lot to do with what eventually happened to the World Trade Centers in 93 and on 9/11. Dead at 64 was this man. And from his birthday, September 1st, his birthday was in that month, September, from his birthday to November 6th, was 66 days later, or a span of 67 days. And here's why both numbers are interesting. 66 is the 11th triangular number. Notice it's also 9 weeks and 3 days, like 93. But 66 is the 11th triangular number, meaning if you add 1 through 11 together, it equals 66. 911 in numerology is 9 plus 1 plus 1 equals 11, the master number. The World Trade Centers were massive 11s in the New York skyline, the 11th state, the 11th day of the month. Flight AA11. What's AA in Gematria? 1-1? Also, September 11th, the day that 9/11 happened, is the Coptic Christian New Year. The word Coptic, 66. If you write out Coptic New Year, it also has Gematria of 67 and 68. He also died on his 67th day of his age, the blood sacrifice number, the one we see again and again in suspicious deaths. But with regards to Coptic New Year being 67 and 68 in the base ciphers, remember what happened in 68. 911 made the national emergency dialing code. World Trade Center construction began. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. Space Odyssey 2001 came out. The New York Jets won their only Super Bowl. After 9/11, the Patriot Act, and then the emergence of the New England Patriots and Tom Brady after a New York Jet sacked number 11 Bledsoe. You know, George W. Bush's birthday to September 11th, a span of 68 days. CIA 68, his father was the head of the CIA. Ernest Rankin Fite, his full name, has Gematria of 188 and 80 in the same ciphers Bavarian Illuminati does. What established the United States of America? See my recent work on why the United States changed its name to the United States on September 9th. Sorry, guys, I would have hung around later. I'll be in Gematria school tonight. I thought I had more time, but my lady needs me to come pick her up. If anybody downloaded the video of me on the guy who deleted our No More News, Adam Green, the guy who deleted our video, if anybody downloaded that, can you please re-upload it and let me know? Because then I'll download it and I'll put it on this channel. It needs to be up. You know, these frauds in the community need to be known. And if you haven't seen my video from February 2016 about what I said about the coming Trump presidency, go back and check it out, because this headline was exactly what I was saying. All right, Truth Seeker. Until next time.